Coach Schumann and Steve Cully were never found. They talk about the team with such zeal, strategies and plays. They analyze it well. The stadium's full of cheers and shouts. UConn's got spirit, we'll never doubt. Coaches share their thoughts, it's quite the treat. In this lively huddle we always meet. Huskies, Huskies, we stand tall. With Coach Schumann and Steve Cully we call. Game plans and strategies, we break it down. In the Husky Huddle, our passion won. From defensive line to wide receiver.
All right. Hopefully I don't get copy infringement for that one. Welcome to Husky Huddle. Little delayed because of the 4th of July week. With me as always, he just says yes to greatness. Coach Schumann, who finished a grueling 4-day camp. Grueling.
No, it was fine.
I don't know. I personally would not have survived. No, younger kids.
Oh, they're hilarious. They're hilarious.
They used to drive me nuts.
They're hilarious.
When I was at Holy Cross, starting off, they would stick me with the youth kids, and I'd have no idea what to do. I would try to do drills with them. Someone would be, sitting in the grass.
Yeah.
Someone would, take his helmet off and say, "I'm hot, I'm thirsty."
They're always
I don't
hot.
want to do this.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't handle kids. I can't handle kids.
Yes.
So I'd lose my mind, and I'd have to be warned that I can't swear, I can't do this or that. Jimmy's dad doesn't like that, so I am not a master with the youth like you are.
I have a fantastic schedule by youth camp.
Well, yeah, you go. It's smart that you go 9 to 1, which is different because we would go. We were all day.
Oh,
so not only that, and then there was a night session where that was the only thing the young kids liked. Because they got to play flag football or touch football or
exactly what they like. So you have to give them what they want with youth kids.
Yeah, but I can't. I'm not supposed to. They're supposed to learn something. Well, that's what I was told.
So I'll show you. Not that you'll ever do a youth camp again. But I'll show you what my schedule. I'll show you my last day's schedule that I ran. But every day is like this. It's similar. So here's the most important parts. This is for any coach who runs a high school program.
Yes, or college.
You need to be a college program. You want to run youth. This is what I do. Okay, so you see here, I break them into 4. This camp had 22 kids. Okay, it's not a huge camp. 22 kids, but we've done it with 60, 70, 80.
You would get them to go through the warm-ups.
So we go through the warm-up. They do it.
Okay, they would do the warm-ups.
What I would do if they're rambunctious, I let them throw the ball around, like play their own little like touch game until we start. I don't care, and then we start. But yeah, we warm up. Then we go. We have the morning. The before lunch is what we call our circuits. You know what I mean, like the circuits. So here's one agility circuit station. Zigzag station.
We would do that. We would do this in the afternoon. To start the afternoon, we would do stations. Yes.
So we always start the first thing they do in the morning is the 2 stations. If you want to get work at them, you got to get it done first. Okay.
While they're attentive.
While they're somewhat attentive.
Okay.
And then you combine. So we time them in these things.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's meaningless time.
Oh, you time them as they're going through?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you went 1.9. Oh, you did it in
that's
1.8.
smart.
So yes,
That's
so
smart.
not every station, but ones where we can, we try to time them. So they go and you teach them the technique. I have them go through it twice without being timed. Okay, so you're not timed. Do it right, and catch the ball, whatever you want to do. And then the third and fourth time we time them. Oh, you ran 1.9. Oh, you're better this time. It was 1.8. Then we move on to the next drill.
I like that. Okay.
They love it. They love being timed. Okay.
So this isn't 4 separate groups. This is one group going through each.
No, 4 groups. Yeah.
They are 4 groups. Okay.
We do it by age. So like
your 4 groups. Okay.
Group 1 might be first and second graders. Group 2 might be third grade. Whatever.
Right.
Then the second set is, you can see here 2 of these stations are contests. So running back.
Oh, they like that. Yes.
Then the second one, and then the third station is pro agility races, L drill races.
Drill. Yeah.
So they're getting stuff done, but we teach them how to do it, what it is. Then the 2 stations that aren't in this day, it was a D-line station, and then the tackling drills.
So
but they always love tackling drills. Always. They love tackling the bag, killing the bag. And what I would do is I would say, okay, take this bag. Like there's a bag, like
does someone hold the bag? Oh, the pop-up dummy.
Pop-up dummy. Not the pop-up, a stand-up dummy. And they're going to wrap it, and they have to take it back 5 yards. I time them how fast they can wrap it, take it back 5 yards.
Wrap it
and
up.
Be like, yep, 2.1. Great. Oh, 2.0. Oh, he's the best, 2.0. They love it. They love it. They think it and you know what it is? It's like, you got to think about what kids are, right? Yes, they want to learn it. And like the same thing, I do the same thing. Do it right first, 2 times, then we'll time it. Okay, great. Because they just want to get the timing. So they'll do it right because they want to get the timing. So, and then, and so I do that, and then we time it. I don't know if he timed on the D-line drill. Like sometimes there'll be a drill that you aren't timing, but I'll quote my son. How come you don't ever have the fun drills? I said, because most of mine aren't timing, but I will do some timing in mine. They all want timing. Then we have lunch after the 2. This usually takes us to like actually later than 10:35, to be honest.
How many kids did you have total?
This one we had 23 kids. We've had, but I've had it with as many as 60. Last year we had 30, I think. And then, so we get done with this anywhere between 10:30 and like 10:45. Then they have a lunch. Okay, hour for lunch.
They bring their lunch.
Yeah, I have them bring their lunch. I usually have like ice pops if they want, if they want it, or I have plenty of waters and ice pops for them, because usually no parent ever gives their kid enough.
They don't bring their own water, or they don't bring enough.
They never give them enough water, because you know what it is. It's very hard for a parent to fathom how much the kid is actually going to drink. Really they don't realize that these kids are dying of thirst. So I have plenty of water too. Anyway, and I have ice pops for them. So when they get done with their lunch, clean up, get ice pops, just like regular camp, you know what I mean? So then I go into team contests. So we'll have like an obstacle course. I didn't even put it in here, but we timed the 40s, and then we ended the day with shake and bake. And shake and bake is essentially this drill right here, but you go on offense and defense. You go on offense and defense, and if whoever goes 2-0 moves on. If you go 1-on-1, you have to wait. If you go 0-2, you're out. So you bat, and then you get to, and all of a sudden the 40-yard dashes at the end of the camp, the shake and bake, dude, they go nuts for it. Like they're all watching. All the kids are watching, no matter what age group. Like first and second graders, the 8th graders are watching to see who breaks ankles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they love that.
They love it. They love it. They love it. So, that's a great drill. And then we also play ultimate football, which is kind of like flag football, but you could throw it forward or backwards. You can only take 3 steps, and we use the width of the football field. So 20 yards wide width of the football field.
So it's a smaller field, but wider.
They go in these contests, the afternoon, these These are all team-based contests. So we break them into 3 or 4 teams, depending on how many kids we have. And they're in these contests, and they get points for every contest. So the fastest 40 guy, if he was on your team, like a track meet, if he was on your team, he gets 10 points. So the first and second grade, third, we race every grade. And then we have team obstacle course. And if they win, they get 10. And it's 8 and 6. And if you win ultimate football, you get 20 points. Second is 10. Third is 0. So yesterday, like every day, we kind of choose new teams. Sometimes we keep it a couple of days the same, depending if it's even or not. But we with ultimate football, we go and
is it different? Is it all the age groups mixed together for ultimate football?
It is ultimate football. It is. They're all in there together. But
you try to match them up with the same age group.
Any individual contest is their grade. Any individual contest, obstacle course as a team, it's the whole team. So and they love the contests. They love the contests. So you're getting them working, and they love it. And then the most important thing at the end of all of it is the awards and prize team award. So if your team wins, you get your choice of a prize. I have like 5 or 6 boxes of clothes, medals, you name it.
Wow.
And gloves, everything. So they go in and they pick their prizes. And then if you won the 40, you get a prize. And if you won, it's like Oprah. If you won the shuttle run, you get a prize. If you won Shake and Bake, you get a prize. I gave the best blocker a prize. I gave the best tackler a prize. So I'm like, you come to my camp, you come out with swag. And that's how you run a camp that every kid loves.
So me trying to teach.
There's always 1 or 2 kids that don't love it for whatever reason, but most of them love it.
So trying to do stances and starts, probably not the best way to go. I was trying to get them in the stand. Well, I got the linemen. I got the young linemen. I'm trying to do.
So here's what you do. So here's what you do with the offensive linemen. Great. Hey, we got to do stance and starts. We need to teach you how to get in a proper stance. They understand that. Even second graders understand. They get in a stance. We're going to go 3 times. We're going to fire out the correct way. I'm going to show you how to do it. Then we're going to practice it 3 or 4 times. Once I see you do it 3 or 4 times right, then we're going to have, I don't know how you teach duck walk speed. How fast can you go? So you put a bag, like how you have where they have to go keep their feet out wide.
Yeah.
You put a little bag down, the plank, and you say, okay, plank, we're going to have plank races. You have them do plank races, and you time them.
Yeah.
So now they cover 5 yards. What do you need them to cover? 5 yards?
That's it. Yeah. I would go ballistic.
Johnny ran 1.9. Yeah. Eric ran 1.7. All right, Johnny versus Eric. You guys are up to 2 fastest times.
Championship. Let's go.
Dude, they love it. And you know what's funny? You actually end up getting into it as a coach because, believe it or not, what ends up happening is you start seeing who actually does it really well, fast.
Yes.
So you're like,
I did it all wrong.
I think college coaches, when they bring the linemen in the camp, this is the mistake they all make in recruiting. Okay? They all make this. They treat the high school kids as fucking mules, okay, when they come in there.
They do, yeah.
And they run them through like mules. Just run them.
They do.
They only time them in the 40 and maybe the shuttle. I don't know. Usually just
the shuttle we would do.
Right, maybe a vert, okay?
Yep, we test them in the vert, yep.
If you want to have fun and you want to see how quick an offensive lineman can get downhill with a bag, driving a bag, you time them.
Yeah. We didn't do that.
No, because you know why? Because now you're going to see the kids will understand, oh, shit, I ran a 40. I fucking ran 5.2. But now we're going to drive this bag, okay? Yeah. And the 4 of us are going to drive a bag, and someone's got a time on us. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Okay, XYZ covered 5 yards in 1.8. Boom, great. or you do 10 yards. You can do whatever you want, 5, 10.
5 yards, yeah.
Now you
that's
see
important.
it.
Yeah.
Now, in the end, you have five of them, the top 5 guys, and you look up and you're like, all right, 3 of these guys are too small. They're just quick, right? Quick. But 2 of these guys are big and fast. Right?
Yeah, there's something there. Yeah.
Kick slide races. Why not? Kick slide races. How fast can they kick slide?
I tried doing that. Yep.
We're worried. We're so worried about the technique being perfectly the way that we want it to be. You'll say we can't race them because one kid's technique is going to be not good. He's going to do it. You say if you don't kick slide this way, you're DQ'd. You're DQ'd. Right. Your time doesn't count. Oh, your time doesn't count. Can I go again, Coach? Yes, you can go again. Now you get to do it right. Now you see them kick slide fast. And when you don't time them, okay, and you do only the technique, you don't know how fast they can go. And what happens is
because there's no rate.
That's really good. That's super hot. Like, think about it. You probably went through some of these things when you were in high school. It's 100 degrees out. And you're just thinking, can I get through these damn drills until we get to one-on-ones, right? But
that's all it was. Yeah, it was all one-on-ones.
Now, if you're timing them on things you need to see them on, can they kick slide? Can they drive block? Can they, I'm just using linemen as an example. Can they pull? How fast can they get around this cone?
Yeah, get around. Yeah.
Now you're getting useful information. So when you get to the one-on-ones, you already know these 3 or 4 kids have been the fastest in everything I've done, and they're also the right size. I don't need to watch all of these kids. I need to definitely watch these 3 or 4. Definitely watch these 3 or 4, and go watch some huge guys, the biggest guys. Let's see what the biggest guys can. And you get that information long before you get to one-on-ones. What every college coach does, they run them through the drills. They don't watch any of them. They don't pay attention to any of them, unless there's a monster that's 6'5", and unless you come through the camp and they're like, well, Steve has 2 left feet, but he is 6'5". You know what I mean? But no. But someone like you walk in the door. I'm going to look at you. You're 6'5". I want to see, can Steve do some things, right? Yeah. Like, how good is he? But other than you, like, I'm not going to be paying attention to too many other guys.
No.
So now these kids walk away from the camp thinking this camp sucks. They were never even looked at me. Well, if you time them,
they feel like they've won something.
They did something. Even
if
they
feel like,
at least they got a time. They knew where they stood among other people.
Yeah.
Even if you never recruited them, it wasn't a waste of their effort, right?
They feel a sense of accomplishment.
Yes. So give them that. That's my whole philosophy on it. Give everyone, the DBs, the W drill, how fast do they get in and out?
Yeah.
If they catch the ball, they get a bonus of 5 points. Right.
You
know what that would require? That would require effort to put into your camp, which these guys don't want to do. But that's how you get fans, because ultimately what they want is fans, okay? Because they know most of these kids ain't going to recruit. They want fans. And you get now those 1,000 kids signed up. Those 1,000 sign up. Now, instead of only 2, you have to get a whole new, another 800 because 800 of them were unhappy. They didn't get recruited. You got to find a new 800. Now, maybe out of 1,000, maybe you keep 700 of them. Come back just because the camp was such a great experience. So even if you don't recruit them, they love the fact that they were competing the whole time. That and you get some flubby GA that's timing them. You know what I'm saying? You got enough of them.
Yeah.
You're with me, dude. John Smith's up time. John Smith, so give me the 3 GAs for this. You guys are timing these 3 guys. Boom. These 3 stations. Write it down. Time them. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're absolutely right. The combine, because we primarily did 1-days, and the combine stuff took the longest. So we barely had any time to do drill work, like you were saying. We would do an obstacle course in the afternoon, and
Did you time them?
No, never timed them in the obstacle course. Nope. It was just a waste time, basically.
Right.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. And you're right. It was the only thing people cared about: one-on-ones for the offensive linemen, 7-on-7, and one-on-ones for the receivers and quarterbacks and running backs. That's really all it came down to.
And that's what they care about. And that's the overall issue with retention at those camps, right? And so
why would you go back?
How are you going to get better recruits? You get these kids keep coming back, dude. You get more, your camp grows, and the parent and the kids say, you know what? I may or may not get recruited here, but I'm going to get a great camp experience. I'm going to get great work.
You're going to learn something. You're going to come out of it with something.
Yeah, not only are you going to learn, but you're also going to have fun because you're going to get timed. You're going to see where you stand among your peers. You know what I mean? Like, these aren't that hard of things to do, but
nobody does.
It requires planning versus what normally happens is if Steve's my low man on the totem pole, I say, Steve, I need you to plan the camp. And you never ran a camp before.
I hated being the camp coordinator. I had to do it a couple times.
Never ran a camp before. And you got to mobilize all these people.
Yep.
You're handing them a schedule. These guys are like, thanks for the schedule. I'm doing my own thing. You know,
pretty much.
Right? Yeah. But now you're the camp coordinator. You say, listen, for recruiting at our stations, these stations, I need a time on their 5-yard drive with a pad on the line. I need a time on their kick slide 5 yards. You know, you make sure that you have the parameters that are necessary so it's as similar as possible. But you don't care that much what the time is. You care that they do it.
No, the time is for them. And you're right, because most of the kids that come to your one-day camps, they're juniors. And if they have a bad experience, when you go to the school the next year, the kids aren't going to come. They're like, why would I come? You know, you didn't offer me. Nobody got offered. It wasn't a great camp. I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yep. And that's how you start to solve. So, like, if you think about it from what little kids like, older kids like it too, you just have to make it a little more mature, right? It's just like, listen, when you teach stance and start, you're teaching stance and start the same way to a first grader as you are a high school kid. The only difference is the high school guy, you're advancing quicker. You're moving him to higher levels quicker than you are first and second grade. First and second grade, you're just basically getting him in a stance. A senior, you might be getting them in the stands and making sure they know the nuances of how they step, right? So, but that's the thing. That's the missing, dude. They're missing the boat. They're missing the boat college camps on that element of it. They could make their
100%
experience so great. Like, they could make it so great. And they just, you know, part of it is maybe they don't care because they're not going to recruit those kids. But the other part of it is they just don't plan. They just don't plan. And they just put everybody in the spot and they give them the basic drills, and they say, go from there. But you start timing kids, you start recording what they do, dude, kids are going to be like, I want to do that camp. I want to do that camp, you know? And I think that would make all the difference. And the schools that start to do that, they're going to get more and more kids that come to their camp. And what happens? You get better players eventually, and you're going to win more games, you know? And think about as a lineman. Why do linemen begrudgingly never go to camps? Like, they go to camps, but when they're there, they're just, dude, they're big, huge people. The last thing they want to do at 305 pounds is sit out in the 100-degree sun running around.
They hate it.
They hate it. It's not even about conditioning. They hate it because they're huge. When you're huge and you're moving around like that, you're exerting a lot of energy. And when you're exerting a lot of energy, then you got a problem. So you got to make that energy worthwhile for them. Anyway, so let's talk.
I agree with you.
Let's talk Husky Land.
Yeah, no. The kids are up there. They've been training, and we were talking about this yesterday. Because our friend Joe Villapiano has his company that does testing to see the mental acuity, see if any kids are struggling, that sort of thing. And we think that it's applicable to every college, every sport. And that's something we were talking about, because now, like a school like UConn, you're having 60 plus kids, new players in your program.
Right.
How do you evaluate that? Because you don't spend as much time with them. So, even their mental health, you're not going to know. Even the time that you get with them in spring practice. And now, because of spring ball, they're adding on 7 practices, because teams really don't know their kids. They don't know what they're getting. And I think that's a huge factor. I really do. So especially for UConn, we have a good amount of returners, but we also have a lot of transfers coming in.
Right.
When you have 60 plus, when you have 50 plus new players, my God, that's an entire new roster. So that's what's scary about it. And at least now they are able to work out, the coaches are able to spend time. I believe it's 10 hours in the summer with their kids. And so they get to lift, and then they get to meet with their coaches, do drill work, whatever. And I think that makes a big difference. So you kind of know what you're getting. But as I also posted, that, there's a lot of unknown. You don't know for sure until the bullets are flying. We all know spring practice is spring practice, and you're not going to know for sure what you're getting. So I think that's paramount to everything. We have a ton. We were talking about receivers. We have a ton of new transfer receivers that came in. We don't know for sure what we're getting, and I don't know how you're going to get them all reps. You really have to kind of take a chance on them, and you're not going to know for sure until the bullets are flying.
There's no doubt. I mean, UConn's one of has a ton of transfers. I mean, that's been the big philosophy.
Talking with Jamal, especially if they're not paying freshmen. So your freshman recruiting is going to change. Like I had complained that we're battling Monmouth, Dartmouth, Lafayette for recruits, Buffalo. But if you're choosing not to pay freshmen, or the money's not there to pay freshmen, those are going to be who you're going to get. And I believe it was Shane and I wanted to show you this kid because we talked about him. He was a tight end in Pennsylvania, and UConn was taking him to convert him to a tight end. Shane and I watched this film, and Shane believes that the kid is a stud quarterback. So that is why I had wanted to see if you could take a look at his film and just see what you think. Because Shane thinks that this is the kid's name. His name, no, that's not okay. He's a Pennsylvania kid. He played quarterback, but UConn is converting him to tight end. And I remember here he is. I remember I argued with you about him. Look up the name because I want you to see his film. We're converting him to tight end, but I think he can play a quarterback. Shane thinks he can play a quarterback. His name is Tom McGlinchey. It's McGlinchey. He's 6'6", 230 pounds. He's got offers from Duke, Syracuse, Notre Dame, Delaware State, Georgetown, Lafayette, Miami of Ohio, and Air Force. These schools have wanted him to switch to tight end.
When did he commit to UConn?
He committed to UConn, according to Stores Central, on June 13th. Juneteenth.
Well, I want to tell you something because on June 24th, he committed to Northwestern. So he ain't going to UConn.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. He wasn't on the list. So, okay. So it says that he is not committed to UConn.
I'm on his Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's that's what's I'm sure. Because it's
he committed to Northwestern, so I wouldn't even worry about Tom McGlinchey. He ain't
Wow. Yeah, they had him on here as a commitment, so we did not get him. Okay, well that changes everything. So then I'd like to know then, because they're listing these kids is commitment, and that is not accurate then. So you said, how recently was it that it was posted he was committed to Northwestern?
June 24th.
Wow, so a week later. Wow, that's crazy.
That's
good.
That's
crazy.
By the way, that predicates to what you said about your story, how people don't pull how they don't pull scholarships. He committed to Northwestern 2 weeks after.
Yeah, right. So that would be like, it would, talking with Jamal. That would be like UConn calling Northwestern and saying, "Hey, Tom committed to us," and then Northwestern saying, "Oh my God, okay, we're pulling his offer." I'm like, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen all the time. I mean, that's just how it is in recruiting. And that's why I hate it. And that's why, Joe V started to not like it, because there's so much dishonesty and it's all the way around. And it's the coaches, it's the kids, it's the parents. Everyone is looking for something better, something bigger, something better, something shinier, something glittier. So, especially if we're not paying freshmen, this kid, we watched this film. Shane went nuts. Shane thought his film was amazing. And he was going to come to UConn. And then a week later, he gets offered at Northwestern. And I think absolutely he could play at Northwestern. I think he's a great athlete. On his film, it showed him running through people. He's 6'6", 230 and can run. So he was a great get for us. And that's disappointing that we lost him. So UConn also did on Stores Central. They did a top 10 recruits of all time. So this is from 2010 and on.
Okay.
And I or around there. So the only 4-star recruit in UConn history, I was curious if you heard this name, Jarrell Miller. He went to prep school, and he is from Danbury, Connecticut. He had academic issues, and still need to wait to see a 4-star high school recruit take the field for the Huskies. Okay, so why would they put him on here? He only played in 2007. Why would he be the number 1 fucking recruit of all time? Just because he was a 4-star coming out? He never played at UConn. He played 1 year, and he only went to camp and left. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then this one, Dwayne Difton, the most widely recruited player of the Randy Edsall area. Difton fell short of those expectations, transferring. Say, why would they put this on here? Transferring before the start of his junior year after Edsall left for Maryland. I don't understand why they would put these guys as the top 10 recruits of all time. I would assume you'd put the top 10, a top 10 recruit of all time would be someone who actually came to your fucking school and did something. Like a Dan Orlovsky. Like an Andre Dixon.
Right.
Like, why would they bother to even do that? That's why it just, it's just completely mismanaged. So the other big news was UConn announced additional games with Duke. They, which I think is good for them. I think Duke is a good matchup. Equal somewhat. I mean, they're probably stronger talent than us, but it's good that we're playing Duke. We added 2 future additional games against Duke. They were going back to Duke in 2027. Duke's coming here in 2028. And these games are replacing a previously announced 2-game series with the University of Mississippi. Wow. The University of Mississippi series has been canceled.
Oh.
So, okay, I'm sorry. I'm incorrect. So the series is going to continue through 2028, but it's also going to extend through 2029 and 2030. So I think that's good for UConn. I think that's a good opponent for them. I think it's good that they got a home and away series with them as opposed to away home like they're doing with Syracuse. So I think that's very, very good. And then I'm just looking through the roster. The transfers that they have coming in, that we talked about that will make a difference. Because, Joe V was talking about the test for the mental acuity and, seeing how kids are. I honestly think that's more important than ever because you're dealing with kids who are coming in for really a year, 2 tops. So you need as much information as possible on these kids to coach them the best, to get them on the field, and to have them be productive. So like someone like this kid, they got Devin Pringle coming in. He played 4 years at Grand Valley State. And he was great at Grand Valley State. He was a Division II All-American. He's a defensive back, position of need for us. But like you and Joe are talking about, with that 3-5 defense, you can have faceless, nameless guys fill those positions. And this is someone who should be able to do that. You're getting a Division II All-American. I think that was a very, very good get. But I mean, what I also like is he's he stayed 4 years at Grand Valley State. He's a one-time transfer. Now, this is the kid that I saw.
Yeah, but I think you can have great success in today's college football with older guys that have been successful at other places.
No, I do too. I don't like the kids that have transferred 2 times and we're their third stop. If we're, if a kid stayed at a school for 3 years or 4 years and we're their one stop, I like that. I'm fine with that. And you're getting older kids, you're getting kids with experience, you're getting kids who can come on the field and contribute immediately. So like this kid from Georgetown, he played 3 years at Georgetown. He has 1 year of eligibility remaining. He should have 2, but he has 1. And I saw him play when I saw Burton's kid play. He was very good. He had 51 tackles, couple interceptions, 12 pass breakups. I think that's good. I think that's someone who can contribute, someone who can give you solid minutes, someone you can put in as one of those faceless, nameless guys that will be able to execute what you're trying to do on defense.
Right.
The kid from Hawaii, I think, is going to be very good. He's 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. He went to Hawaii and Wisconsin. That's the only thing that troubles me is, he's transferred twice and, he's a 1 year rental. Hopefully they get enough out of him. So, defensively, you see that more. Offensively, the one position where they went heavy was the wide receivers. Because, after losing TJ Sheffield to the draft and Josiah Gathings transferring, wow, they got I just saw a tight end that I liked. They got a 6'6", 225-pound tight end. Oh, so he's born and bred UConn. 6'6", 225. He's a sophomore. He looks great. So, I mean, again, that tight end position, I think, could be so valuable for us. Something we could take advantage of. I love Hansen. I obviously love Burton. I love Hunnig. I love the North Carolina State guy. But if you look at the receivers, the transfers that they got, I think they got some good value. This Ty Bowman, he's only a junior. He transferred from Rice. 6 feet, 205. He's someone who I think can help. Trying to see if there's any stats on him for 2024, if he played it all. But that's why, Joe and I were saying, and even, Bellamy agreed with this, you have to run what your personnel what gives your personnel the best chance to succeed. And that's why I think that using our tight ends to our advantage would be the best way to go. So the other guy we got, Shamar Porter. He transferred. He's got 4 years of eligibility remaining. He came from Kentucky, and he was ranked the number 29 wide receiver in the country, and he was the number 5th ranked receiver in the state of Tennessee, and he was all state. Wow, not a lot. How was he named first team all state after catching? He had 32 catches for 500 yards and 10 touchdowns. That gets you all state?
What state?
God, I would have been an All-American then.
What state?
He was named all state in Tennessee. Yeah.
Oh.
So I like him. I like this Shamar Porter.
Yeah.
I've seen him. He's a bigger body. He's that 6'3" kid who can do a lot for us. And he also has 3 years of eligibility remaining. So I like that. I think he's a kid who can contribute, because it's going to be a mystery who is going to start on the outside. The guy that they also really like is Chris Parker. Now kind of I argued with you over Jaden McDuffie, like we should have taken him. I kind of see it because you got Shamar Porter is 6'3". Chris Parker, the transfer from Central Michigan, he's 6'3". So they have Skylar Bell. So they have bigger receivers. So maybe, like I argued with you over Quad Hendricks, that's maybe a body they need, because the receivers they have are all over 6 feet tall. They have bigger body receivers. They have one guy who's 5'11". So someone like Quad Hendricks, who returns kicks, who has that, you talked about his track ability, the way he ran, he was on the 4x1 state championship team in Jersey. I think that makes a difference. The real concern for me, as I said to you, is the quarterback position.
Right.
Because Joe is the 8th-year senior. Evers is a redshirt junior, so he's got 2 years left. They have Tucker McDonald, who backed up a little bit last year. He got hurt in a game. He was rehabbing from an injury. And then they have Kassan Farrar, who was the Virginia quarterback of the year. He was the state player of the year in Virginia.
Well, the Virginia kid is the future.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I think that he could end up starting, be in the mix for next year. Right. Because if Evers doesn't figure it out, I had really liked Cole Welliver. It's disappointing that he transferred, the 6'7", the big. He ended up transferring to New Mexico.
Oh, that's right.
He entered the portal. Well, we lost 3 quarterbacks in the portal that left. Cole was one of them. Jake Tripty was another. So that's why, like I said to Joe last week, having only 4 arms for camp, that's not a lot. When you're doing, you run 3 groups, you're doing 7-on-7, you're doing 1-on-1s. You really have to take care of their arms, especially a young kid like Kassan Farrar. He and Evers are the only dual threat guys. Right. Tucker and Figiano are the drop back guys. But what we talked about was the offensive line. I think they've done a great job recruiting up front. There is not the only offensive lineman who is short. They have the transfer from Maryland, Tamaris Walker, 6'3", 320, who I think can start for us and be a good guard. But everyone else, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". One kid is 6'4", and then the only short kid they have, I imagine he's got to be a walk-on. Joe, he's a Jersey guy. Have you heard of this kid, Joe McGann?
No.
From Langersville. Oh, he's from New York. He went to the Hun School. He's a Hun School kid.
Okay.
But the Hun School is a good program normally, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there was one kid I saw. Okay, yeah. Jake Kiernan is a redshirt sophomore. He's 6'1", 270. He's the only kid that's below 6'3". And I think he's got to be a walk-on because he's from Greenwich High School. So I think that's why I say, I think we're solid up front. The D line, I mean, we got some beasts. Vincent Carroll Jackson, 6'5", 290. We got the Smiley kid, Ben Smiley, 6'4", 245. He fits in that 3-5 system. And, we got a couple other guys. Curvis Chute, he's 6'4", 295. Someone who can play inside. Brandon Kelly, 6'6", 235. Hopefully he gets his weight up. Cleto Choi, redshirt sophomore, 6'6", 270. So
they got some guys size-wise.
Yep. They got Stephen Wright, graduate transfer, 6'5", 285. I'm trying to see if he's a graduate transfer or if he's been with us the whole time. Because he came from Texas Southern. So he played 4 years at Texas Southern, where his fifth stop. So, I mean, that's not a bad signing. I don't know what we paid for him, but we got good guys up front. And I think like you guys said, the nameless, faceless guys in the secondary, where you can mix and match what you want to do. You can mix and match the coverages you play. You can mix and match your blitz packages. And that definitely makes it more difficult for teams to prepare for. So as much as I admonished our roster, because I'd like to see more freshmen taken, we are in good shape. I mean, I really believe that what's going to carry us is the running backs. Cam, Mel, I think MJ Flowers is going to be huge. He's 6'1", 200 pounds, physical runner, tough runner. But that's the other concern I have. We only have 5 running backs, and one of them's a true freshman. And he's the fucking kid from Sweden. So, and Victor Rosa did a great job when he had his opportunity 2 years ago, but we just had better talent, and he didn't get the carries last year. He didn't get the playing time.
No doubt. Well, Cam Edwards is still the guy, so.
Yeah, Cam's the guy, but he splits time. He splits time with Mel, and I think they're a good 1-2 punch. It's just knock on wood. They have to stay healthy. And you know, I didn't even know he was a transfer from Gardner-Webb last year.
Oh, after kids are always going to be transfers.
No, I know. I didn't think Cam is not a transfer. Cam is a redshirt junior. I do not believe he was a transfer.
I have to jump off in a minute. So,
okay.
Do we want to wrap and roll?
Yeah. So thanks for going over the drills. I appreciate it. Now I know how to coach youth kids.
Yes. If that ever happens to you.
Yeah. What do you got going on for this weekend?
This weekend, nothing actually.
Oh, okay.
But
right.
Now I have to take him somewhere.
All right. Well, have a wonderful weekend.
I'll give you a call shortly.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon. And just remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 200, throw them back at life.